see what is the use of CFT, the crystal field theory, and how it leads us to a much more important concept of crystal field stabilization energy. And as a follow up, we will concentrate about the spectrochemical series, and finally we will solve two example numericals from previous year questions. To begin with, CFT, the crystal field theory. So this is all about, and it explains about the electronic structure of metal ions in coordination complexes. So this is the pretty much the one liner about the crystal field theory. It explains about the electronic structure of metals in coordination complexes. So we will focus on the octahedral complexes. And from the name octahedra, we see that the metal ion is interacting with uh, the ligand, a 6 ligand, for example, FeCN6. For example, this is an example that we see for an octahedral complex. So we see now that a d orbital, a d shell, has 5 kinds of subshells in them. So these are the subshells. It is dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, dz square. So we see them in this images as well. So dxy, dyz, and dxz, and dx square minus y square, and dz square. So these are the 5 kind of subshells that is the part of d orbitals. It is very important to know these structures to identify and understand the crystal field theory. So we see that there are 5 subshells in the d orbital. When they are in a symmetrically spherical environment, when they are in a spherical or symmetrical environment, when the metal is in the free state, it just exists as such in a degenerate state. What does degeneracy mean? Which means all the 5 subshells, all the 5 subshells, that is, as already we explained about, all the 5 subshells and the electrons in them. For example, I'm just filling up all the 10 electrons. For example, all of them are in the same energy state when it is in the spherically symmetrical environment. But um, when we have the ligand approaching to these metal environment, this is the d metal. When we have an octahedral ligand approaching this uh, metal subshells, this creates an electrostatic repulsion. This creates an electrostatic repulsion between this octahedral ligands and the electrons in the metal ends, which leads to the splitting of the d orbitals. This is the very core concept of uh, DCFT, the splitting of d orbitals. They usually degenerate. By default, they are degenerate and equal in energy. But when there is the approach of the octahedral ligands, it leads to the splitting of the d orbitals. What kind of splitting takes place? We already saw there are five kinds of subshells. So it leads to uh, triply degenerate three subshells in one energy level, in lower energy level, and two subshells in higher energy level. So this is triply degenerate lower energy orbitals, and this is doubly degenerate higher energy orbitals. So these are the dxy, dyz, and dzx, and these are dx square minus y square and dz square. The reason for these two doubly degenerate orbitals occupying the upper higher energy level is because the influence of the ligand on these two orbitals is quite high. The repulsive factor between the electrons of the ligand and these two subshells is pretty high, and that is the reason they end up in the higher energy level. As you can see, in this orbitals, we see in case of this dz square, we see the electron repulsion happens along the axis. When the interaction is happening along the axis, the repulsive effect is quite higher and leads to higher energy in case of dz square and dx square minus y square. Here also the ligand interaction happens along the axis. So because of this reason, these two orbitals end up in the higher energy orbitals, while the other three subshells, dxy, yz, and dzx, in all these three cases, the electron repulsion happens in between the axis. It is not along the axis, so the repulsive effect is lower. So we now understand why there are triply degenerate orbitals, because these are in between the axis. Because these are in between the axis, and in this case, this is along the axis. And so we now see that so there is a degenerate d orbitals. They are getting split into triply degenerate E2G and doubly degenerate EG. So there is an energy difference in between these two energy levels, which contributes to the factor called del O, and this del O is called as crystal field stabilization energy, and it is one of the most important concept of the CFT, and it determines several important properties of the complexes, such as the spectral properties, optical properties, magnetic properties, and thermal stability, thermodynamic stability as well. So this energy level between these two, higher energy level and lower energy level, is called as del O or CFSC, crystal field stabilization energy. So the reason for the D transition metal elements exhibiting colors, the complex exhibiting colors, is because of the d electronic transition. When there is an electron here, there is a possibility for the electrons to jump from the lower energy level into the higher energy level, which leads to the d electronic transition, contributes in forming colored complexes. So let's move on to the numerical. So for which we need to know the formula for CFSC. We know that the if there is a imaginary barycenter in this area, this is pretty much higher. The higher energy level is pretty much higher, which leads to the value of 3 by 5 del O, and this value in between this barycenter and the T2G is 2 by 5 del O, which leads us to a formula. CFSE is equal to minus zero point 0.4, because 2 by 5 is zero point 0.4. Okay, so because this is below the barycenter, so we have a minus sign, into the number of electrons into the in the T2G orbital, plus zero point 0.6 into the number of electrons in the EG orbital, into del O, which is the CFSE value. And now we have the formula. We now calculate an example of a D4 high spin complex. So D4 electronic configuration, when it is splitting into two kinds of energy levels, it is T2G and EG. So it is a high spin complex. So we arrange the electrons first in the T2G orbitals. So first three electrons we pair it singly according to the Hund's rule. And then the last electron, we see it is a high spin complex, meaning the electron pairing does not take place until every orbital is singly filled. So the pairing does not take place because it is a high spin complex. So now we calculate that the CFSE value is minus zero point 0.4 into the number of electrons in the T2G orbital is equal to 3 plus zero point 0.6 into 1, so which leads to plus del O. And in case of if any pairing has taken place, we need to add that pairing number of electrons and pairing energy. So which did not happen in the high spin complex here. So it is minus 1.2 plus zero point 0.6 del O and plus 0 P, which gives zero point 0.6 del O. And this is a previous year question asked in the year 2010. So if you have any doubts and clarification, please leave a comment below in this question.